Shalom, brothers and sisters. The chief priest, Apostle Elimelech ben Yisrael. Happy. I guess today would be the fourth day of Passover unleavened, class on unleavened bread. Yeah, man. I just think of something. Just a little quick thought. For you beginner Israelites who just came in, under 3 years. Approximately, because you're still a baby in this truth. We go by the truth, the years in this truth, and then you're born again. So 3 years is like a 3-year-old in this truth. So you're still kind of a youngin, a very little baby, almost newborn, 3 years old, 2 years old. Remember this. Let's get some basics down pat before we even continue speaking. Before I continue speaking, know this. That the Most High is the God of Israel, our power. Name is Yahweh in the Hebrew. Look it up. It's in the Hebrew, Yahweh. He is. His son name is Yahushai. All right? Yahushai. Also keep this in mind. The law is not done away with in the New Testament. Matthew 5:17 through 20, a basic scripture. Read that, and you go from there. Also read Hebrews 8, 9, and 10 about the laws of sacrifice and the ordinances thereof. Also keep this in mind, that this is the first thing you young brothers and sisters look for. When somebody brings something to your attention, you ask yourself this question, and you look it up. Does the law says thou shalt or thou shalt not? Is there a law against it, or is there a law for it? From there, you're able to determine if this is lawful or this is unlawful. Scriptures is very clear about that. All right, these are things you need to understand. Don't complicate yourself. Don't try to be overwise. Don't try to be super spiritual. Just look for something that says thou shalt not, and look for the wording. For the brothers and sisters that are more advanced, there are words in the scriptures that has been changed, and there's been the Hebrew, the Greek, the Latin, the Aramaic, where the things have to be looked up. But for you young brothers and sisters, no, keep it simple. Thou shalt not. And from there you use it as a guide. And if you want any more advice, you go to your elder, which you're supposed to have as a young person in this truth, and ask them, look, I can't find a scripture for or against it. Can you, and I need to know. And the elders will pray to the Most High and get your answer, as Moses did when he was asked certain questions about things that was not written in the Bible. Everything is not written directly in the Bible, word for word. Every law is not written word for word. So you need to keep that wisdom. But that's not for you young people under 3 years in this truth. You need to always, look for that law. Look for that commandment. Was you commanded to do it? Was you not commanded to do it? Always keep it simple. Please don't bug yourself out being over righteous, because you'll find yourself back out in the world. You'll find yourself losing your damn mind. Trust me, after 25 years, almost 25 years of this, I know this to be fact. So I've seen people go complicate themselves, and they don't even know what's going on. They're looking here, looking there, going different books, going to different documents, and they find themselves in a hole because they don't have the spiritual discernment. They end up exploding. And now they're talking about we don't got to keep no laws. So remember that in your endeavors. I'm speaking this from wisdom. Always checking the law, checking the commandments, checking the statutes, checking the judgments to see if this is really wrong. Yes or no. That's the answer. You don't want an in between. You don't want a variable. Like I said, when you come more advanced in the truth, you will find out that there are things that's not written, and there are things that's not written straight up, but it's in there. Believe me, it's in there. Because if you can, let's just say, if you cannot find the answer by thou shalt not, what do you do now? You start looking at the prophecies, the parables, and it shows you. Wisdom from the scriptures, from the law, statutes, and commandments, and judgments. When you know them and you keep them, wisdom shows you the in-betweens, the things that you don't read straight up, or you don't read a black and white. Everything is not black and white. Okay? For an example, somebody was saying about birthdays. There's no scripture saying thou shalt celebrate birthdays. And no scripture said thou shalt not celebrate birthdays. So what is by default the judgment? It's not unlawful. Meaning that doctrine is a false doctrine, because there's no thou shalt not celebrate birthdays. The scriptures they bring out does not directly go to the law. It's just examples. Examples is not good enough. We need a thou shalt not in that case. Another doctrine, no sex on the Sabbath. Show me the scripture said thou shalt have sex on the Sabbath, which we don't find. Show me the scripture where it said thou shalt not have sex on the Sabbath. The scriptures say marriage is honorable in all. Not in some. All means all. That means through and through. If it was any clause that you cannot have sex with your wife, it would have said it. But it says in all. That means everything, including the Sabbath. That's by default. You should not be simple and believe in anything else. There's other things. Let's make sure we keep the commandments as it is written. Don't add or take away from the commandments. Don't be over righteous. Don't be over wicked. Don't be a Pharisee adding traditions of men and commandments of men. All right, shalom.